There were 363 road closures on Highway 11, 886 on Highway 17. John Vanthoff says he came up with this idea unexpectedly, accidentally inspired by Education Minister Paul Calandra, who asked if he'd seen the show Ice Road Truckers.
Seriously? The freaking heat isn't working.
The reality show takes a look at trucking in the north through the most extreme conditions.
And I said, Paul, we don't need to watch Ice Road Truckers, we live it. And he goes, oh, Highway 11, fair enough.
Premier Doug Ford has acknowledged the problems.
You know, I've driven these roads. I'll be very frank, it's terrifying.
During the last election campaign, committing to widening a stretch of Highway 11. A spokesperson says they're spending $350 million to improve road safety on Highways 11 and 17. It's a serious topic, though these three road trippers expect to have a good time and will travel in a convoy for much of the route for both comfort and safety.
If you don't laugh at very serious issues, you'll cry. And we're not always effective when we cry. So we're taking this seriously. Yeah, we're worried, but we're going to have a good time doing this.
The plan is they'll be back here at Queen's Park in just over a week, but that timeline will depend on the weather and, of course, the condition of the roads. Lorenda Redicomp, CBC News, Toronto.
I do love that they say, well, it's serious, you got to have a little fun, and I wonder who's in charge of the playlist for that road trip. So that's what I want to know.
Hope they pack their patience, because there's a bit of weather coming to parts of northwestern Ontario, Brittany. You know, we really could use the precipitation, though. That's the thing I've been saying for the last few weeks now. I'm going to start with precipitation. Bit of a roundup here from February, now that we're into the month of March now. Kind of closing the door on things here. And I mean, typically February is our driest month of the year across Manitoba, so really shouldn't surprise you that it was all that dry. But normally Winnipeg, Brandon, around 13 to 15 millimeters of precipitation. I'm combining rain and snow just to make things simple here, would be sort of the normal average over the last 30 years. Brandon, Winnipeg, barely getting over 5 and 6 millimeters. So very, very dry month. This is cumulative, of course, too, not just February, but the past several months have been drier than normal. So we really could use some precipitation. Thompson, kind of the standout, where we have seen more than double the average precipitation for this time of the year through the month of February. So some parts of Manitoba getting a bit more precipitation than others. I don't have a ton in the forecast, but we do have maybe some snow for central parts of the province again. So the setup, high pressure departing over Hudson Bay, that's going to allow temperatures to warm up slightly in northern Manitoba. So we're out of extreme cold territory, but there is a bit of snow coming really to not just the south, but also northern Manitoba. Weak low pushing across the territorial boundary could give a few flurries or some light snow as we head into the day on Friday. For Thursday, though, clouds will feature, and as we get later into the afternoon, there's a weak low here with this warm front coming along with it. There's a slim chance that we do get into some freezing rain or some freezing drizzle as we get late afternoon into the evening Thursday, but this is more so a snow event through the Parkland and certainly through the Interlake and into eastern parts of the province. But as we head into Friday morning, as this front pushes eastward, there's the risk that we do get into some freezing rain into Fort Frances, Kenora, Dryden, into Atikokan, for example. So just keep that in mind as the system pushes its way eastward, that we could get into some precipitation on the Ontario side of the border that could really slicken up roads. On the back side of this, we do get into some warmer air, and that will push temperatures up here as we get into the weekend. I'll show you that in your long range in just a moment here, but I mean, looking at and trace to maybe a couple of centimeters, this model does overblow some of the snow a little bit here, so keep that in mind. Let's expect some snow as we get through the next couple of days. Up to -2 in the afternoon for Winnipeg tomorrow. Brittany, I think you'll like the weekend forecast here, +3 and +4 into the day on Sunday.
I sure do. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
But the River Trail doesn't. A favorite winter activity now done. The Nestaway River Trail officially closed. It was open for 62 days this year. The Canopy Rink and upper trails at the Forks still open, of course, weather permitting. We have more local news coming right up. Stay with us. The man responsible for the Humboldt Broncos bus crash could be leaving Canada within weeks. In 2018, Jaskarat Singh Sidhu was behind the wheel of a transport truck that collided with a bus in Saskatchewan carrying the junior hockey team. 16 people were killed and another 13 injured. With his removal looming, he spoke exclusively with CBC's Karen Pauls. So did some of the victims' families.
As he faces deportation, Jaskarat Sidhu and his wife Tanvir Mann treasure their family time.
It just haunts me, kind of. Nobody wants to be separated from their family, you know.
It's a nightmare, and we can't even imagine the life without him.
Sidhu was responsible for the 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus crash behind the wheel of the semi-truck that blew through a stop sign right into the path of the Saskatchewan junior hockey team's bus, killing 16, injuring 13 others.
I wish I can do something that can take their pain away. I wish that day was never happened.
Sidhu pleaded guilty and in 2019 was sentenced to 8 years in prison. I interviewed him before he was granted parole in 2023. 1 year later, the Immigration and Refugee Board ordered his deportation. Now, one of his last avenues of appeal has been rejected.
He has a pending application for permanent residence on humanitarian and compassionate grounds. They can try to remove him in the meantime. We are seeing the wheels in motion to make that happen.
We think he should be deported.
Russ Harold's son Adam was the youngest player killed in the bus crash. He died just 6 days before his 17th birthday.
We've lost our child forever. It's not like he stole our car and we can go buy another one. We can never replace our children.
Harold says every anniversary, every mention of Sidhu is a trigger.
I'm not giving him a second chance. He's been here 8 years too long already. He's taxing our health care, taxing our legal system. I think it's time to move on.
But not everyone feels that way.
I think I just tell him I forgive him.
Christina Hogan was married to head coach Darcy Hogan, who was killed in that crash.
I just would hope that there's some way that he can forgive himself and know that he's allowed to be happy too.
Sidhu emotional when he hears that.
I have shame, I have guilt, I have sadness, and all of those things I deal with every day.
The Canada Border Services Agency says its job is to remove inadmissible people as quickly as possible, dealing first with the most serious cases, including threats to national security and organized crime. Sidhu is running out of legal options, so the agency has started making plans for deportation. But Sidhu may go alone. His son suffers from a rare lung disorder. Doctors say living in India would put him at risk.
So I'm in a limbo thinking what should we do? Should I accompany Jaskarat or stay back here for my son?
This family, like many of those involved in the Humboldt Broncos tragedy, still deeply impacted by that fateful day. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Calgary.
Day 5 of the Israeli-American war on Iran saw yet another escalation of the conflict. It's now expanded beyond the Middle East.
An American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo.
The Iranian frigate with 180 people on board was struck in the Indian Ocean off Sri Lanka. It's believed to be the first sinking of a ship by an American torpedo since the Second World War. That as U.S. and Israeli warplanes continued their assault on Iranian military and defense targets, and as Israel stepped up its bombardment of Iranian-backed Hezbollah positions in Lebanon. Iran responding throughout the day, firing drones and missiles on Israel, Bahrain, and Kuwait. Meanwhile, Turkey says a ballistic missile from Iran was intercepted by NATO defenses as it approached Turkish airspace, the debris falling in southern Turkey. The incident raising fears of a widening war by pulling NATO and its allies into the mix. Video obtained exclusively by CBC News shows an Iranian missile breaking through Israel's Iron Dome defense system. It struck a Tel Aviv neighborhood on Saturday, killing one person, according to the Israel Defense Forces. Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault explains how the incident underscores the system's limitations.
Have a look and a listen to some footage obtained exclusively by CBC of a missile strike in central Tel Aviv the other night. Let's have another look at this. What you see is an attempt of the anti-missile defense system to reach that missile, but it breaks through those defenses, then smashed into a neighborhood here in central Tel Aviv. It's been cleaned up. There was a hole right here on the street. There was a building right there that's already been brought down. They can clean up. What is a little harder to deal with is the knock to the confidence of seeing a missile break through the defense system. You sometimes hear about the Iron Dome. Well, the Iron Dome is just sort of one layer of the onion, if you will, to the defense system here. There's something called the David Sling, the Arrow 1, Arrow 2. As you go deeper into that layer, they can hit more complicated and bigger missiles coming through. But if they are overwhelmed, it's inevitable that a few break through. The Israelis have seen that happen before. This is a brand new feeling for the Gulf states, though, who are encountering the drones and the missile strikes for Iran.
Meantime, Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Australia and participated in a discussion at a think tank in Sydney. He spoke about his support for the U.S.-Israeli operation against Iran, a view that sparked controversy nationally and within his own Liberal Party. But as David Thurton reports, Carney clarified some of his initial remarks.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Prime Minister of Canada. Welcome.
A warm welcome for Mark Carney after taking heat for his comments on Iran.
Canada has long supported the imperative of neutralizing this grave global threat.
Carney said Canada supported the U.S. and Israel's strikes on Iran. Then the backlash came.
Canada cannot endorse the unilateral and illegal use of military force, the killing of civilians.
During remarks in a fireside chat, Carney backtracked.
It seems to me you've recalibrated slightly today.
Carney said Canada was not consulted on the U.S. and Israel's plans to attack Iran. But since it's already happened, Canada backs it to prevent Iran's nuclear ambitions, while now calling on them to follow international law.
We take the situation as it is, including when we made that statement. We take the situation as is with the U.S. aims.
Canada, therefore, as Prime Minister Carney said yesterday, regretfully supports efforts to prevent Iran from developing and acquiring a nuclear weapon.
The Foreign Affairs Minister also walking a fine line while offering consular help to those trying to leave the region.
Global Affairs Canada is not currently offering assisted departures, but we are in touch with our partners to identify potential options. The government of Canada has secured a limited number of seats on commercial flights from Beirut.
The Carney government is calling for a rapid de-escalation of hostilities, with more than 100,000 Canadians registered in the Middle East and Gulf states, and a conflict that's expanding. David Thurton, CBC News, Ottawa.
Canada is getting set to co-host the FIFA World Cup this summer, with matches taking place in Toronto and Vancouver. But as Yasmin Renea shows us, finding a place to stay in either of those cities is a struggle.
1052, 996.
100 days away from the start of the World Cup, and Shuterto Saha still can't find a place to stay in Vancouver.
It's sad to to see the fact that you have tickets to see the games, but finding accommodation is going to be one of the hardest things to do.
Tens of thousands of visitors are expected to descend on the city as it hosts 7 games, and hotels are booking up quickly.
We know that we're going to be in popular demand. June and July is our high season.
The tourism board says the city has a hotel shortage and may not be able to fulfill demand. Vancouver has about 13,000 hotel rooms, roughly 10,000 fewer than Toronto. Vancouver has lost about 550 hotel rooms since 2020, partly because some older hotels like this one were turned into supportive housing units. The province says hundreds of hotel rooms are in the development pipeline, but they're not expected to open between now and the World Cup.
The number of hotels clearly represented in the price, right?
Australian Yordan Kostedanov is coming to Vancouver for his second World Cup and is shocked at the prices, upwards of $1,000 a night.
My honeymoon was in Hawaii and I'm pretty sure we paid less per night there.
There are also fewer places for World Cup fans to stay because of short-term rental restrictions, which only allow people to rent out their primary residence. And while there are many advertisements online, it likely won't be enough to fill the gap, says this urban planner.
Some folks may not want the inconvenience of leaving their units unless of course they're traveling for a prolonged period of time.
On Airbnbs,
Saha hopes to find a place soon.
I've been looking at Surrey, Westminster, down the Fraser Valley, and I have found places in Vancouver Island.
Which means he could be looking at a ferry ride or an hour drive to get to the stadium. Yasmin Ranea, CBC News, Vancouver.
One social media company has launched new alerts to help protect your kids, but will they actually work? We dive deeper into that straight ahead. Parents using Instagram's child supervision tools will soon receive alerts if their teen repeatedly searches for suicide or self-harm related terms on the platform. It's the first time parent company Meta will proactively alert parents, but will it work? Jacques Marcoux is the Director of Research and Analytics at the Canadian Centre for Child Protection and joins me now. Jacques, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So Jacques, first off, what kind of supervision tools and alerts are already in place on some social media platforms?
So the reality is that it really depends on what platform you're talking about, because there's not really any consistency, or there's no uniform standard for what parental controls look like across the industry. That's a major problem, because I think that it would be a lot more helpful for parents if there was some sort of predictable set of information and settings and default settings that you could anticipate when you have a child who's using some sort of online service. But there's no actual requirement for companies to have any sort of parental guidelines or any sort of structures in place that could help parents monitor online services. And the other problem too is that most of these parental controls or monitoring tools require that the parents themselves hold an account. So that means your parents would have to create a Snapchat account and then configure it to be linked to the child account. And what we know, and we know this because the companies disclose this, is that we're talking single-digit teen accounts on social media that have a link to a parental account. Parental controls tend to be incredibly underwhelming in terms of the information that it gives parents.
I do want to get to that algorithm in a moment, but when a parent gets an alert in this case with this new system, do we know what happens next?
As far as I can tell, we don't. And I think that is also a concern. Parents do want more information about their kids' online habits and activities. But I think that if you are suddenly receiving a bold fonted warning that your child's been for the past several weeks searching self-harm content, I think that can be really alarming. And if there's not some sort of additional measures in place, I'm a little bit concerned about how this actually plays out. For example, what kind of further commitments exist once the notification has happened? Does the tech company crack down on the algorithm for that specific child? Do they make changes to it? We don't know these things.
This instance helps after a child has already been searching suicide or self-harm. So what about preventing that harmful content from showing up in their algorithm to begin with? Why not that?
That's a great question, and it's a question that I think we should all put to Instagram in this specific case. It's a question we can also put to Snapchat and TikTok and any other mainstream platform that kids use, and ask them why they're not doing the same thing. And so I think that, kids might be searching for this type of content for a number of reasons, and they might be reasons that are not related necessarily to what they experience online. But I think it's clear that there's very strong links between mental health, self-harm, and overexposure to content on social media. And the starting point, I think, has to be that the companies themselves address the environments that kids are in to ensure that they're not going down these rabbit holes to begin with, where they are being exposed to this type of content. And then, as we all know, the more you search for content, the more the algorithm assumes this is what you want to see, and it continues to serve it up to you. So it's a very circular thing. And I think that's important that we have guardrails in place, laws in place, regulations in place that kind of breaks that up a bit.
All right, Jacques, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Important conversations that I know parents are having with their kids because I hear it from all of my friends.
Yes.
But you know what? I spend too much time on social media to begin with, so maybe I need my own parental controls. That's exactly what I need.
Incentives.
Get off.
Take the dog for a walk.
Exactly. There you go.
There's my segue. Time for your dog walking forecast. I know some folks got a real chuckle out of Tabby Tuesday yesterday, but let's get back into the dog walking forecast. I think you're going to like tonight's. How cute. This is Benito, the corgi. Thank you, Juan, for sending this picture. And I love the smile. And I love the tongue sticking out as well. Keep sending yours to talkback at cbc.ca. Well, I don't know if Benito will be particularly smiley about the weather tomorrow. I mean, we are warming up closer to the freezing mark in Winnipeg. I've got us at -2 tomorrow afternoon, but there is that risk that we get into some freezing drizzle as we get into the later afternoon, into the early evening, and the wind will be the thing that kind of stays with us over the next few days. That's because of our upper level winds, what's happening higher up in the atmosphere. And you can see a jet stream kind of cutting across the prairies into Ontario. So we're into some of that stronger upper level wind, which is driving some of that breeze that we've had over the last couple of days and what we'll continue to see as we get through into the next few days, even into the weekend. I'm looking at things remaining quite breezy, but it's also allowing some slightly warmer air in. And as we see some of that warmer air intersecting with some of that cooler air, that's when we will get into that risk of some freezing rain or some freezing drizzle as we get into the day tomorrow. So overnight temperatures closer to -15 to -20 in the west, where we are under a bit more cloud cover, -11 to -13 into southeastern Manitoba, and looking at -14s into northwestern Ontario. Again, clouds feature overnight tonight. Slightly warmer overnight tonight than it was last night in northern Manitoba. Still, though, close to or below -30 along the Hudson Bay coast and into northeastern parts of the province. Not extreme cold territory, but certainly still another cold night, and things remaining below seasonal for northern Manitoba. Maybe a few scattered flurries through Flin Flon, the Pas, even into Norway House here and there, but more of a substantial chance into Barons River and Poplar River, where we do get into some slightly warmer air, -9 in Barons River as we get through the day tomorrow. In the south, as we get through the day, the risk of freezing rain along southwestern Manitoba as we get toward the noon hour. Temperature staying cooler, though, in southwestern Manitoba as we get through the day. The Canadian model actually shifts the risk of freezing rain slightly further west as we get through the day on Thursday, but the American and the European models actually keep it into northwestern Ontario. So just know there's that risk, Brittany, that we do get into some freezing precipitation late afternoon, early evening tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
We're continuing that conversation around parental controls and social media. So what do parents need to know and what should they look for? Earlier, I spoke with clinical psychologist Dr. Joanne Unger. Here's part of that conversation.
We need to be really aware of what our children are doing online, who they're talking to, what those conversations are about. Of course, dependent on age, more supervision and more oversight when kids are younger. But as they get older, we need to scaffold them, just like how, we don't put kids behind the wheel and give them keys to a car when they're 16 and say, go drive a car. We need to teach them. And so it's really tricky when the tech is moving very quickly. I get that's a lot of pressure on parents to kind of know what's going on. But if our children are doing it and they're spending a lot of time doing it, we need to educate ourselves and be aware and be engaged with them in that conversation.
We know parents are doing their best. We know it can be so overwhelming because it seems like there's always another account, there's another site, another place that kids can go and look for something. So as a parent, how do you start having those conversations with your kid before it's too late?
Well, I always start with the relationship. So one of the things that's the foundation of all our parenting skills in every area is to really work on that relationship with our kids from a really early on and to walk beside them as they learn these new things. So, while we wouldn't necessarily do gymnastics with them if that isn't our thing, we're going to go to practices and we're going to see what they're learning, and we're going to see who their coaches are and who their teammates are. Same thing online, right? If our kids are into a new game or they're on a new social media app, we're going to be aware and involved and learn with them what they're doing so they're not learning it on their own and they're not doing it and being vulnerable and not being able to bring an adult brain to some of the situations that they may be facing in themselves.
And lastly, when we're talking about self-harm and suicide, it can be really scary for parents. So what are some of those warning signs that parents should be looking for, that they should be aware of if they start seeing these changes in their kid, that maybe they want to reach out for some help?
Yeah, there's a key word in that question that you then said, is there a change? So whenever we notice, I know kids are always changing in some sense, particularly when they're becoming teenagers, but if there's anything that's significantly different in your child or your teen that doesn't seem like them, that's a time to be curious and to move in closer and to see what's happening for our kids. Whenever there's big emotions that are really hard to regulate, whenever there's lots of withdrawal, when they're not engaging socially with peers or other people in their lives or family members, and they're away in their room a lot, that's a time to get curious and to come close. And I know sometimes they can be a little prickly, but it's really important that we're engaged with our kids as much as as appropriate for their age. Some other warning signs might be more irritability and anger. Sometimes that's underneath that are other emotions and challenges that teens and kids might be facing. Sleep and eating are two other things too. So looking at those kinds of pieces are really important. If they're sleeping a lot or not enough, or changes in eating patterns.
All right, a really important conversation. Dr. Unger, thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Still ahead, it's a game of strategy. Crokinole brings out the competitiveness in PEI, including in one very sharp 91-year-old. That story next in your Daily Lift. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Okay, well, maybe it's been a bit of a long winter for you and you can't wait to get into spring. Well, here's a little bit of encouragement looking at our sunset tracker over the next few weeks. So tomorrow, sunsetting at 6:17 in the evening, but we get through that time change. So by the time we're talking at this time next week, our sunset close to 7:30 and even approaching 8 p.m. by the time we get toward the end of March. So there maybe is the encouragement that you needed. Temperature-wise, I mean, sort of up and down. So into the weekend, +3 into Saturday, +4 into Sunday. Not a lot of confidence on what is happening early next week, but right now the potential there for some light snow as we get through Monday. And then, yeah, there's a drop in temperatures. So we're at the middle of next week again.
Keep an eye on the positives.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know, you can consider it, I guess, a cross between shuffleboard and curling. Crokinole got its roots in Canada in the 19th century.
And I still don't know how to play.
Oh,
and
we used to play.
in PEI, one player in particular has been trying to keep people on their toes at 91 years young. Here's your daily lift.
My name is Norma Morrissey, and we're in Summerside playing crokinole today. It's a tournament. When we were growing up, I hit all kinds of games. Our family did, but I never hit crokinole. I didn't even know what the board looked like when I went out. And for the longest time, I wasn't very good at it. I'm doing better in the centers. It's the centers that really count. They add up. Good shot, Norma. I play 3 times a week. Okay. Yeah, I'm still driving, eh? You know my age and that, so yeah, I'll be 92 in May.
She's a great lady to carry on with, and that's part of the thing where you have people here that love to play.
Well, I think it's the people that you're playing with. They're just terrific. They really are. Yeah.
And is it a game that allows a lot of banter back and forth and chatter?
Oh, yes, you should hear me. I'm the noisy one.
Me too, Norma. Crokinole champion, but more importantly, fashion icon. I love those earrings.
Yes. Those were cool.
Something to look forward to.
We used to play this a lot as kids.
I love
so
that.
This brings back memories.
Okay, you can teach me.
Yes, we'll do it.
Have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow.